Hello, Serge here from the backyard driving range. I guess we got some in your own words today. In fact, I think I have 3 of them that are all basically on the same topic, so I wanted to read them because, as you know, I love it when you all send in some in your own words, because I say things one way, you might hear it another way, or hear it one way and your brain rationalizes it. However, you rationalize it and it helps you, so when you verbalize it out, it's another way of saying, could be another way of saying what I've been saying, and I love it when y'all send me these, because I read it and now the rest of the Surge Eye world can hear, or the Surge Nation can hear how it rang and resonated with you. So we got this first one that comes to us from Bob, and it says, "Dear Surge, I started golfing about 7 years ago and have tried 3 or 4 swing methods prior to PPGS. After nearly giving up the game, I stumbled across your technique, and I must say, you've saved my golfing life, so to speak. My golfing buddies think I've been secretly taking lessons all winter. It feels like an epiphany. I've shaved around 20 strokes off my game the last 3 times out, so I'm excited. So excited I could cry." Well, just don't do it before you're ready to hit, because that might, fog up your eyes and you won't be able to see the ball and focus good enough on it. Okay? "I could cry. Almost everything I hit is straight as an arrow, and my driver even has a nice soft draw. But the best thing is my ball striking and confidence. I cannot thank you enough. Regards, Bob." See, I like that. See, now it's what just got thrown into that statement there. Because he's hitting it more solid and straight, he's getting confidence. He's got something. He's got a swing that is becoming consistent enough that he can trust it and have faith in it, because he's narrowed up his margins of error. But okay, so good shot there, and that's Bob, and I think his last name is Mantz, M-A-N-T-Z, Bob Mantz. Then I got one from Donald Gunderman, and Donald says, "First full round yesterday after your one-day school," so he came to a golf school, "and I did something I haven't done in a very long time. 18 holes, 18 birdie putts. Can't believe how much you improved my game in only one day. Feel free to use as a testimonial. Thanks again, Don Gunderman." Okay, Don, I guess it's now become a testimonial. And again, 18 birdie putts, that means he hit 18 greens. I mean, you know how many people can do that? I mean, that is rare. That's a very, very rare feat. And even conversely, making 18 straight pars in a round, or pars are better. Okay, so that again tells us about what? We tightened up his margins of error, tightened up the knees, tightened up the swing, hitting the ball more solid straight, but most importantly, number one, what do we tighten up? Very likely the alignment, because we're still batting a 0 for this whole year. Okay, and except for one guy that, in all the years I've been teaching golf schools, except for one guy that did it about 2 or 3 years ago, we've only had one guy that was stayed consistent the whole day. And in that case, we actually did a school where we played 9 holes, and he was consistent all the way. In fact, when he was playing with me, I thought I had him one time. I saw him lining up about 10 or 15 yards right of a green, and he started it right there, and the wind was blowing right to left, and the ball started right where he was aimed, and turned right over, and the wind blew it, landed on the edge of the green, and kicked right onto the middle of the green. And I said to him, I was confident that maybe he goofed on that alignment. I said, "Where did you line it up, and what were you trying to do?" He said, "Well, I was going to play to win. I figured it was going to hook the ball. It was going to push my ball about 10 or 15 yards, so I aimed it just offside the right side of the green." I said, "Well done. You did it exactly what you wanted. You started it where you wanted it, and it did exactly what you planned." So he actually got the only guy that's ever had good alignment on every shot I ever checked him out with during the school. All right, the third one. This one is a very short one. It comes from Alan Kerr, K-E-R-R, and he says, "Don, PP," he put SG, but it's GS putting system led me to 8 2-putts and 1 putt on my league tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Alan." So the reason why I really like this one was because why? Alan finally brought in the concept of short game. And what is my number one statement about? I don't care what level of golf you're at. If you want to become better, in the end, you need to become a short game wizard. Right? Why? Because nobody hits 18 greens very often. I mean, I know. I was at a golf school PGA seminar one time with one of the great old-time golfers who played back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, I think, if he played that long. Great ball strike, great player. Wasn't that long, but boy, he was a wizard around the greens. In fact, they called him Little Poison, I think. He played His name escapes me at the moment, but he's in the Hall of Fame, and he beat Sam Snead in the PGA Championship once when it was match play, and he beat him something like 12-10 or something, and they said that basically Snead outdrove him 60, 70 to 100 yards sometimes, and he beat him that much because he around the greens, boy, he got it up and down from a trash can with the lid on. All right, but he once did a seminar, said that he was teaching that I attended, and this is going back probably into the 90s. He said that in his entire career he never hit 18 greens in a round. All right, and we know that ultimately, in most cases, the PGA Tour leader in greens and reg every year is about 72 to 74%. Figure that out. That's about 14 greens on average, maybe a high 13 percentage to 14. That means even the leader is missing 4 greens around. So if he doesn't get it up on those 4 greens, let's say he doesn't get it up one time, he's got to make 4 birdies just to get back to par. So getting it up and down is important. And naturally, the more, and for the better ball strike you are, it's more important to really work on your short game, because when you're playing, if you're hitting more greens, you don't have as many chances to practice it while you're playing, and especially in tournaments. So you got to go out and make sure that you give yourself that amount of practice time. So if you want to get better, and I tell this to all the students, if you're going to spend X amount of time, you got to practice. You want to spend no more, absolutely no more than 50% on the range hitting balls. And if you're doing that really well, be smart. And if you're doing your stats, you'll know where you really need to put your work on. And go over there and spend at least 50 or more % on your short game. And in your short game, what's the number one thing? Should be putting, right? Because you putt 18 times a green. 18 times a round. You have 18 greens. At some point, you get on a green, you got to putt. So you're going to have very, very many more putts than you will still have chip and pitches. So you really got to get the putts down, because in the end, you can make the greatest chip to 3 feet, miss the 3-footer, and that's, to me, if I'm off the green and you got one of those chips, they might give you a 1 in 5 chance, or 2 in 10 chance, or whatever, which is 1 in 5, or give you almost slim to no chance, and you get it up like that, and then make this greatest chip in the world, and then you miss the 3 or 4 footer. I mean, that's just like taking a knife and stabbing yourself in the heart. All right, or cutting your wrists. I mean, it still comes down to, in the end, unless you hit it up there for a stone dead gimme, you got to make a putt. So you really got to have the putting's really got to be there. So let's still think about being a short game wizard. I hear all the time people brag about, they say, oh man, we got this old guy at the club. All he does is bop it down the middle, get near the green, knock it on the green, and make the putt. It's unbelievable. But what does everybody ask when they come for a golf school? Hey, Serge, I need to hit the ball farther. I need to hit it farther. You got to help me longer. I got to be longer. Well, what happened about that guy? Why don't we at least want to stop by trying to be like him? Just think about it. Remember this. Straighter is longer, because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Okay? So hitting it more solid and straight will eventually give you much longer average than if you hit a couple good short ones or average ones, and then you hit a 280-yarder into the right woods. Huh? Those don't help you. Those don't help your averages. So let's work on setup, swing. But in the end, we still got to become short game wizards. All right? Putting, chipping, pitching, and sand play. All right? Short game is what's going to help you score. That's why they call it the scoring game. Become a scorer, become a short game wizard, and you will see your game you'll start shooting lower numbers, which is going to make you a lot happier golfer and a better golfer. Well, that's it for the Surge for today on these In Your Own Words from Surgeites, how PPGS has helped them in their long game as well as their putting. All right, we got the putting, ultimate putting. We got putting videos, 2 or 3 of them on there. The one with Jack Moore, the putting secret, is phenomenal. If you haven't looked at them, you need to look at them, because there's great tips on the setup and the stroke, and concepts of how to read greens and approach different types of putts, so that you can get the ball closer to the hole to make the next putt. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be speaking with you all again soon.